because it's actually a really, really powerful tool that I've used to completely transform my mixes. Hey everybody, if you don't know me, my name is Claire. I am a producer and mix engineer from Newfoundland, Canada, and today I really want to talk to you about Logic's newest feature called the Mastering Assistant. Now, the intention of the Mastering Assistant is to get your mixes ready to go off to clients just straight off the master bus. If you wanted to, you could probably even use it to send straight to distribution. But today, I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into it and talk about some of the other uses that there are for it, because it's actually a really, really powerful tool that I've used to completely transform my mixes. So let's have a jump over here into Logic. This is a track that I only ever really did a rough mix of because I sent it away to be mixed by someone else. So this is a good example for what we are doing. This is a cover that I did of River by Joni Mitchell, and I'll just give you a little taste of the rough mix here.
It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace. So I wish I had a river that I could skate away on.
Right, so there's nothing wrong with the mix. It's alright. It's not a top of the line mix. I would maybe tweak it a little bit more before I would send it out anywhere. But now, to make it even better, we're gonna go into the Mastering Assistant, and what it's gonna do is analyze the frequencies that are lacking in this and the ones that are coming in a little too hot, and recommend an EQ to make it sound like stuff on the radio that's been mixed by uber professionals. So I'm just gonna run that little analysis now, and then we'll have a look at what it says about this track. Alright, so even my voice is going to sound a little bit different just because this is also running through the Mastering Assistant here now. But you'll be able to see through this EQ that it's kind of generated for me that the mix is coming in a little hot around 50 hertz and a little hot around 300 hertz and not enough in this range at all. So now what I'm going to do with this information is actually go into the tracks and adjust the EQ accordingly so that it doesn't have to work as hard in the mastering stage. But first of all, let's have a listen to what it's actually done to the mix, and I'll do a little A/B, I'll bypass it here and there.
Cutting down trees, putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace.
So obviously the other thing that it does is adjust the loudness, as you can see over here, and it has a LUFS meter, which is really useful if you want to get something to a specific level if you're sending it to a distribution service. But what I like to do in this phase when I'm just using it to adjust my mix is just turn the loudness all the way down so I can really hear the difference. You can also turn this loudness compensation thing off.
That I could skate away on. But it don't snow here, it stays pretty green.
Alright, so now I'm gonna actually take this information and bring it into my mix so I know that between, it looks like about 1,000 and maybe 8,000 are not coming in hot enough at all. So that's the biggest issue that we've got going on here. So I'm gonna go adjust the tracks accordingly with EQs so that those frequencies pop up a little bit more, and then the Mastering Assistant doesn't need to work as hard. So these guitar tracks are all baritone guitar tracks, so they are a little bottom heavy. Yeah, there's no EQ on them at all. So that's something that I will need to do because they are a pretty driving force of the song and they are pretty loud. So bringing maybe those lower frequencies down and the higher frequencies up in these tracks will be helpful. And I know it's a hot take, but I actually really like the Logic stock EQ. I am a Logic stock plugin apologist. I'll bring the vocals up a little bit too, I think.
I wish I had a river that I could skate.
Yeah, that's the frequency that it's missing. Put it on the harmonies as well. Cuts much nicer. Alright, I think we're ready to give this Mastering Assistant another go. So we can turn the plugin back on and then just hit reanalyze, and then it'll give me a brand new EQ and loudness level and stereo spread. And it'll be Lovely. Alright, so that actually didn't make a huge difference, but that's interesting. I thought it would have.
That I could skate away on. I made my baby say goodbye.
I mean, that definitely sounds better. I trust it. So it looks like it kind of narrowed itself a little bit, or at least brought it up that way. So between 2 and 8K, I'll try to bring up as much as I can. I'll do it to the vocals here first. Maybe some of these little melody things might be nice to have a little more high end on. Yeah, so I had that high end rolled all the way off, and I didn't even notice. And clearly it needs something that's cutting through a little bit better, so that's good to know. So I'll turn that back on so that the high end is not so rolled off. Piano could definitely cut a little bit better. So there we go. Good to know, good to know. And it's also not completely out of the question that I'm just gonna totally overdo this and it's gonna sound bad, but then the thing will tell me and we will know. These are my cymbal swells that are called Dan swells because my friend Dan recorded them and I use them on everything. Yeah, they could be a lot cuttier too. Yeah, that's not bad. That vocal is definitely way nicer now. But then of course that messes with the volume because this is way too loud now. I have a feeling it's pushed a little too far in the way of excitement now, but let's give her another analyze, see what happens. Alright, so the adjustment is definitely lower than it was. I don't really know if I'm gonna get it much better than that, but at least I know now that that's what it's doing and that's what it needs, and I can take that knowledge even into my future mixes, even if I don't use it in this. After you use it so many times, you start to kind of understand your own tendencies, and then you can kind of keep in mind what frequencies you tend to put in too much or too little of. Another thing I want to note here, I have an Intel chip Mac, so I don't have these options. Clean is the setting that I'm using, and it's really good. I won't lie to you, it's really good. I don't have any experience with the other ones, but I'm sure they're great too. So let's give a final little A-B here, and I'll also show you the mix before I actually made the adjustments to it.
It's coming on Christmas, they're cutting down trees, putting up reindeer, singing songs of joy and peace. So I wish I had a river that I could skate away on. But it don't snow here, it stays pretty green. I'm gonna make a lot of money, and I'm gonna quit this crazy scene. Oh, I wish I had a river that I could skate away on. I wish I had a river
So, do I think that the Logic Mastering Assistant is a good replacement for a seasoned professional with a human touch? No, of course I don't. There's nothing that's ever gonna really compare to somebody who's been doing it for years and years and years. But this is a really useful tool if you're trying to send some mixes to clients and you want them to sound pretty accurate to what they're gonna be in the final master. And as you saw, as a mixing tool, as an intermediary to get your mixes to where you kind of want them and need them to be. I've been using it on everything and it's been really, really helpful. And my mixes have been sounding so much better lately as a result of this tool. So I cannot recommend it enough. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you got something out of this. If you consider subscribing to this channel so I can keep making these videos, that would be much, much appreciated. And let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you want me to touch on this channel. Whether it be Logic tips, I am a Logic girly for life. I love Logic and I love talking about Logic. Or just general music production things. I also want to make it known that I am taking clients for producing singles, albums, EPs, even podcasts. Anything that you'd like, I am happy to get involved with wherever you are in the world. So just shoot me an email. I'll leave my email in the description. And with that, I hope you had a good day. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your day, and I'll see you next week.
Quit this crazy scene. I wish I had a river that I could skate away on. I wish I had a river so